Paul, the final day of the season's here, and it's certainly been one to remember.
It's been a great season. You can reflect now and look back. It's you know, the players deserve so much credit for what they've done this season for the club, the supporters, and for everyone. It's been really good. It's been exciting. It's been, you know, some of the goals we've scored away from home. You know, some of the away performances, some of the 10-minute bursts we've put into games that have really lifted you off the seat. And they're all going into the last game at Doncaster now, where we know what we're taking in terms of travel and support. You know, we've just had a team meeting regarding the importance it is for the fans. You know, not just for ourselves, for the people of Wigan to win the league. You know, it's a big achievement. It's a big, you know, it's what we set out to do at the start of the season. And with one game to go, it's clearly what we want to do. You know, albeit, you know, there's a point from where we want to be. You know, we've got to go and get that point tomorrow.
You've got that professional pride, but it also means an awful lot, that expectancy from the support base as well.
I just think it's nice having something to play for, isn't it? You know, if we were sitting here now tomorrow and, you know, everything was done, you know, we'd be saying, well, you know, what are we really going over here for? I'm not being disrespectful in that. You know, I think it's good that the game has that edge. You know, it really is. We're going into a weekend there where there's going to be, you know, sort of gathering on Sunday, which is great for everyone. You know, when you've worked so hard for so long, it's nice for everyone to sit back and relax. And there'll be no better way to do that than to have the league trophy with us. If it's not to be, that's football, and we'll all move on into the championship, which is, again, is what we set out to do. You know, but the icing on the cake is what it is.
And away from home, the form has been so strong throughout the season.
The lads have done great. You can't fault them. You know, to get to the points tally we have 95 was, you know, it's probably surpassed where I really thought we'd get to if the truth be known. You know, amongst that, we've had our moments where, you know, the back-to-back defeats at Southend and Blackpool was probably a low, but they've always bounced back. You know, they've always bounced back really well. I think the supporters can honestly feel happy with them, and I think that's important for your fans. It's not just the teams at the top that fans can be happy with. I think if your supporters know you're doing your best, I don't think there's ever a problem. I'm sure our supporters feel that this season.
What's been the difference away from home? Because I think you've only failed to score in one of the games. You mentioned the bursts you've had in those games. You've really been dominant away from home.
That's the setup of the opposition. It's quite simple, really. You've seen games like this year. We played Oxford away, for example, in a game where Oxford try and win the game, and then we play Oxford at home, where Oxford have got no intent on winning the game. That's football, you know, and it's the same lads. It's just the intent of the team. You know, we've played games this year, Charlton at home, for example, where Charlton, both Carl Robinson's teams, by the way, Carl, but showed no intent. And at the time, to be fair to Charlton, they were decimated with injuries, etc. And that's football. You know, you've always got your part to play in a game. You know, for me, our players, we always take part in the game and our intent to win it. You know, the opposition don't do that, and that's fine, by the way. That's not a criticism of the teams. You know, if you've got a team that you don't think maybe can win the game, you'll try a different avenue to try and win the game. So certainly at times we probably had a couple of 0-0 draws too many at home, you know, which is football. But I think overall our record's very, very strong. Away from home, you know, you wouldn't swap it for anyone.
As the end of the season comes, it's award season as well, and today, manager and player of the month. You said after winning March, if you won April, it'd signify a great month, and it certainly has been.
Yeah, it has. You know, it started off with the defeat at Portsmouth. You know, and I genuinely commented on the coach coming back. Going to have to do well to win manager of the month this year, chaps. And we have. And you know, and I do think it's great. It's only right that you pay, you know, due respect to the people who help you so much. You know, I'm very, very lucky at this club. You know, I've got really good staff. They work so hard behind the scenes. And as I say, nowadays in the modern day game, managers take a lot of the credit, and they also take a lot of the flack, and that's part and parcel of the game. But through my staff, Liam, Anthony, you know, the medical guys, you know, Nick Colgan, all my staff who work close to me, I'm very lucky. We're a very tight group. You know, they work extremely hard. They're very, very professional. You know, and it's credit to them, not just myself. 8
games in the month shows the effort that was put in, and obviously Will as well, with a number of important goals.
The lads have done great. You know, I'm really proud of the team and proud of the club. So it's been a really good season. You know, we come in and, you know, everyone wants to bounce back, and my thing as a manager, I always like to see improvement. You know, when you've been at a club like ours and you've been at the levels we've been at, you know, probably people want improvement very quickly. You can understand that. You know, but to have a good, strong football club now, it takes time. You know, all this instant success and side doesn't help clubs. You know, for me, it's a period of stabilising your club, of getting stronger and stronger. You know, for me, the lads have done absolutely amazing this year. The supporters as well. You know, some of the away trips down to Charlton's and places like that on a Tuesday night, Gillingham, you know, away on a Tuesday night. You know, Saturday support has always been 1,000 plus, you know, every away game, and I think the Wigan people deserve a lot of credit for that as well.
Is Will one of those players you've seen the improvement in? Because he's always scored goals, especially at this level, but his teamwork as well off the ball this season's been fantastic.
football is what it is. You can't change the game. If your team creates chances and Will Griggs your number 9, he will score goals. So it's quite simple. I think that's at whatever level Will plays at. You know, to say Will's grew on me and impressed me more wouldn't be fair to Will, because his record is there for all to see. You know, but when we started the campaign, for example, he was being injured. His fitness levels where they want to be. I think over the last 6 weeks, I think we've seen the real Will Grigg. You know, he's not just a fantastic goal scorer. He manipulates his body very, very well. He's very clever. He's intelligent. He takes up a good position. He works very hard to regain the ball back for his teammates. You know, he leads the line from the front really well. You know, we're very lucky to have him.
And it's a trip to Doncaster that will hopefully see the league title wrapped up. I think the last time Wigan won, you were on the school shoot.
My God. You haven't got pictures of that one, lads, have you? That's how old you feel today. Yeah, I can remember it vaguely now. Jesus Christ, it was a long time. I think we won heavily, didn't we? Was it 3 or 4?
Yeah, 4, I think.
4-1, 3-1, yeah, whatever. Do you know, but did Paul Jewell not score?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he did, yeah. So, you know, hopefully we can have the same result tomorrow. Do you know, it'll be a different emotion for sure coming back, you know, but I hope all the Wigan fans who travel enjoy the game and, you know, really enjoy a day of celebrating the season and hopefully enjoy the result.
And is it also perhaps a bit of a marker for getting ready for next season as well, beginning now to look ahead to what may lay ahead in the Championship?
I think, you know, for football clubs that are evolving or, you know, work in progress or good clubs, if you like, them avenues are always there. You're always recruitment. People speak about recruitment too much in the game, probably because everyone thinks it's easy to recruit. In my opinion, it's the hardest part of football. So recruitment will always be a process that's not a 24/7 thing, but it's not far off it. You know, you've got to be looking for the players, where you're getting them from, their age, their potential, and their hunger to be a footballer. You know, one of my big things in the game now is that people like being a footballer, but they're not hungry enough to really work that hard to make themselves better. So we'll try our best to recruit well for next year, you know, but the core of our team next year will be these lads. You know, I'm not a manager for chopping and changing. You know, I believe in my players. I believe that large percentage of this squad, in my opinion, is good enough to challenge and hold their own in a very tough league.